Good day, folks. It's Tony Fortunato from the technology firm. We're in the lab today working on some traffic generation stuff. And as I've said for years, please know your tools and calibrate, calibrate, and test. So today what I'm doing is I've got my good old laptop, this Alienware, and I've got its internal Ethernet adapter. But then I've also added an external adapter. It's USB 3.0 to 1 gig. And I'm going to test that out, as well as another OptiView as my control or my test. So I'm going to have this guy generate the traffic. I'm going to have these 3 different interfaces receive the traffic, not at the same time, obviously. And we're going to review the results just to see how well they compare, I guess. So here's our actual results. So this over here is the important bit. This is the traffic generation stat screen from the OptiView XG. And you can see I'm using a packet size of 1024, so your range is going to be from 64 bytes, teeny, all the way up to 1518. So I chose 1024 just as a random, almost middle of the road kind of size. Average packet size on a data network are going to range between 512 and 1200, so I use kind of the middle ground of that range. You'll never see just 64 in a network, and you'll never see just 1518, so it's important to have something realistic. I chose a utilization of only 10% of 1 gig. I figured that's more than enough. And this is what I was looking at. Not so much the actual amount of frames that were sent and received, because I sent 100,000 frames in all 3 examples. All 3 received 100,000 frames. So that's not what I'm looking at. I'm looking at how accurate the timestamps are when you receive those frames. For example, I'm going to start with the OptiView XG on the right-hand side. You can see it receiving at a fairly consistent rate. This is the delta time between the packets, and they're all about 84 microseconds to 83 microseconds. So you can see that all the way down the line here. If you look at the internal Ethernet card on my laptop, you can see that it's 83, 84, 83. See, you can actually see this kind of drifting a bit microseconds wise, which again may not be a big deal or maybe a huge deal depending on how accurate you want this. And then finally, when you look at the USB adapter, obviously it's doing some buffering. So there's going to be, I'm going to say a different pattern, and that's what we see. We see something super duper duper fast, and then you see something at 167 microseconds, pardon me. And then 0, 167, 0, 167, and that's its pattern. And you know what? Just to say kind of the bright side of things, it is consistent, so that's kind of nice. It's not all wonky and all over the place. But you can clearly see the differences between all 3 results. You can see the XG is pretty static at 8384. You can see the internal Ethernet adapter is 83, 80, 88. There's a little bit of a variance in there, but still pretty good considering it's the internal adapter. And then lastly, the USB 3 to gigabit adapter is kind of bouncing all over the map. So if you want to use an external USB adapter on your laptop to capture packets and you want to make sure you receive them all, again, at 10%, 1024 size, good, you're good. But if you want to use an external adapter and you're worried about accuracy as far as the delta times go, and you want something more accurate to the microsecond level, you probably don't want to use an external adapter in combination with, in this case, Windows 10 and its NDIS drivers. There you go, folks. Hope you enjoyed that. Have a good day. Bye for now.